Greetings and welcome back, or welcome to my channel. Today we will be doing another weekly rune reading. So if this is your first time, or if you're coming back and just need a refresher, I will be pulling 3 runes, and you will choose either rune 1, 2, or 3. So you can make that decision now, whichever number comes to your mind, and then I will draw the 3 runes. And you can skip ahead to the rune you chose. I'll put the timestamps down below, and you can check out your reading for the week. All right, so let's get started. All right, let's begin with the readings. For reading number 1 today, we have the rune Algiz. Now, Algiz it represents the antlers of a stag, and it is the supreme rune of protection. So this is a great rune to use if you're trying to ward off evil spirits. This is a rune of self-reflection. So if you're getting this in a reading, it's a time to look inward at yourself, because often those are where our greatest battles come from. This represents new opportunities and new challenges. If you have some kind of plan you're working towards, whether it's spiritual, economic, or even business, especially business here, project you're trying to complete, this rune is going to suggest a positive outcome for you. But beware, because what we get is with this rune is not just protection and not just this positive outlook for those projects that you're trying to achieve, the goals that you set for yourself. But what we also have here is this portion of protection, this rune of protection. And it's important to remember that protection is not needed if there's no danger. So understand that there are going to be possible obstacles in your path, that the road ahead might be dangerous. So you're going to have to look out for those. You're going to have to be courageous. You're going to have to use caution. But you can move forward knowing that you have things on your side. The outcome is going to be positive. You just have to overcome those challenges. Look within, find your courage, reflect on the things that you need, and then move forward knowing that you're protected and that you're going to have good outcomes in whatever you have planned moving forward. That's the reading for rune number 1. For the second rune, we have Manaz. Now, Manaz is the rune of the self, and for humans, for humankind in general. So to start off, this rune is kind of focused on independence. The rune can be focused on what is trying to be achieved. It's important for someone who's receiving this reading not to focus on doing things just to gain merit from them, or trying to bolster themselves up from their accomplishments, or to try to focus on the results of what's coming out of what they're working on, but instead for doing the work because the work needs to be done, or doing the work because it brings them joy to do it. So if you're writing a book and you're afraid that no one else will like it, that's not what should be focused on at this moment. The focus should be the work, to do the work because it needs to be done, rather than looking out the end result of it, or worrying about the accomplishments, worrying about how it will be received. This rune can also kind of mention the fact, kind of talk to the idea of us all being one. And so it's important that if you are receiving advice from the outside, that you should maybe kind of look at the advice you're being given and take it to heart. Um, so accept help from the outside if it's being offered. This can also talk about going back to the examination of the self and trying to adopt a more positive attitude. If you've realized that some negativity has crept in, especially with projects and stuff like that you're working on, that to take the time to kind of adjust that. Remember that um, positive thought can produce positive outcomes. So the Rune Manaz, a time of reflection with the self, a time of kind of thinking through uh, our independence, why we're doing things, why you should do things. So that's the rune for rune reading number 2. The third and final rune today is the rune Dagaz. Now, Dagaz is the rune of belonging. It signifies a breakthrough. It signifies self-change. Something quite extraordinary change is possibly coming your way. This can be a transformation in attitude, but it can be so much more. It could be a complete transformation of how you live your life. And so, what the kind of change this rune symbolizes could be quite extraordinary, like taking on a large lifestyle change, or just the way that you viewed and lived life before could be left behind for a new way. Just some things that kind of pop to mind are like leaving a workplace to work from home, or completely changing like a diet, or completely changing your spiritual path. Focusing on something new that's going to radically change the way that you live. Um, this isn't necessarily going to be like something that just happens, but it's going to be a process where you can no longer live the way that you used to. And the outcome is assuredly going to happen. There is going to be a change. There is going to be this transformation, but you may not know what that change is. It may not be predictable. It may not be what you think that it is. So this is a period that requires like a radical trust. You have to really like, you're going to have to jump into the void with not knowing. So it's going to take a lot of trust to move into such a radical, uncomfortable place for you. But this change isn't going to be a negative change. It's going to be a positive transformation for the person getting the reading. This usually brings on a period of achievement. It brings on a time of prosperity. But anything that large is going to bring such a radical movement might require a lot of hard work. So know that it may not be something that comes easily. That is Dagas, and that's the end of rune reading number 3. Thank you, everyone who stopped by to get a reading this week. Just as a side note, I have been publishing like some quick rune shorts on this page, on this channel, that are just kind of like highlighting the basic ideas of each rune. So they're just 15 seconds long, and just if you're interested in the meaning of the runes to be able to read them yourself, if you're not familiar with that, it can kind of be a quick, easy way to go through them and get the general idea of what each of the runes are about. So once again, thank you everyone for stopping by, and we will see you next time.